Okay, back again on the Rich Van Tassel channel. Today is Tuesday, September 15th. Going over the games from Monday Night Football last night. I know it's a little late in the day. I apologize. I had some things going on today. I missed both of these games. I picked both the Eagles and the Vikings to win, and both teams lost. So we're going to start with the Eagles against the Falcons. The game in the second half went how I expected the game to go the entire time. Atlanta could not get a stop in the second half. Philly was going up and down the field. I really don't know what happened to the Eagles' offense in the first half of this game. Sam Bradford, we discussed, he's going to make mistakes, especially when you throw the ball over 50 times. Bradford was 36 of 52, so it's a lot of times you're asking him to throw in that offense, and you're just asking for mistakes. And it happened. He threw two interceptions, of course, the game-ending interception as well. Went for 336 yards, but the question mark with Philly, it's why I don't have them in the playoffs, is Sam Bradford. I think it's going to continue throughout the year. Byron Maxwell did not look good against Julio Jones. We'll go over Julio's numbers in a minute. The receiving numbers were impressive for the Eagles. Of course, when you throw the ball that many times, they're going to be. Jordan Matthews was over 100 yards, but on 10 catches. So a lot of short passes. Darren Sproles 7 for 76. So they really weren't stretching the field that much. Zach Ertz did. He was over 15 yards per carry at 3 catches. Or excuse me, 15 yards per catch. He had 3 catches for 46 yards. So I don't know. I mean, were the Eagles just rusty coming out of training camp? I'd like to assume so. I don't think Atlanta is that good. I think their defense showed it. Matt Ryan did play well, but I don't. It didn't strike me that Atlanta was necessarily playing to win at some points. I thought they could have been more aggressive with their play call. Ryan 23 of 34, 298 yards, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions. He had that one very bad interception coming out of halftime, which probably should have cost them the game. I think they dodged the bullet. After that, they were in total control, 20 to 3, and that turnover really gave Philadelphia life and almost cost them the game. So I was really disappointed with Philadelphia, to be honest with you. Julio Jones, 9 catches for 141 yards, so Byron Maxwell was not living up to his contract there. I guess he's going to be happy there's no Dez Bryant next week for the Cowboys because that's what they got him for. Roddy White also went off for 4 catches for 84 yards. It's over 20. That's 21 yards exactly per catch. So Philadelphia's secondary, probably their biggest question mark outside of Sam Bradford. They probably thought they addressed it by getting these 2 corners in Byron Maxwell and Walter Thurman. That's Walter Thurman III. Their defensive line played well. We know that they do have a good defensive line with Fletcher Cox and Connor Barwin up front. All in all, disappointing for Philadelphia. They're going to look to bounce back against Dallas next week, so they really put themselves in a tough hole. And I was, again, surprised with how poorly the Eagles played in that game. I'm really expecting more from them. Atlanta's not that good of a team. Defense just isn't up to caliber, and they showed it in the second half. Granted, they played very well in the first half, but the defense you saw in the second half of that game is the defense I think we'd expect to see of Atlanta for the rest of the season. But they got the win. Once you get a win, you're all right. You can move forward from there. And when you start out 1-0, it often changes. I had Atlanta going 7-9 this year, so that one win, that you expect to lose just off of 7-9, that would make them 8-8. And you never know, that might springboard into 1-2 more wins at the end of the year in that weak division. Might give Atlanta a shot for the playoffs. We'll see what happens, but I don't think so with that defense. Philadelphia should be very disappointed with themselves. And then the last game of the week was late last night. The 49ers beat Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings, what can you say? This team coming into this year had playoff aspirations. I picked them to go 9-7, not making the playoffs. However, the talk wasn't just for me. This was the talk coming out of their camp. Teddy Bridgewater, very conservative. I think North Turner needed to open the playbook up more. He did not, and I think that was a big reason why they struggled in this game. Adrian Peterson, 10 carries for 31 yards. It's 3.1 yards per rush. Never really got off. Mike Wallace, 6 catches, 63 yards again. The offense was just terrible for Minnesota. Mike Wallace was brought in to help Teddy Bridgewater. He didn't have a good game. Adrian Peterson back. They're going to need more than 10 carries for 31 yards. So Cordero Patterson, I don't know when this guy's ever going to step up and become the player you'd expect. Though their defense hung in there, they got pounded in the running game. Carlos Hyde, 26 carries, 168 yards. So he's likely going to be the guy who's going to take that number one spot now. I don't expect to see Franco is gone. I don't see Reggie Bush taking the reins from him. Carlos Hyde's a bigger, younger back, and obviously be the workhorse. And Trent Dilfer made a good point in the game last night. He talked about, how the 49ers still have talent on this team. They do have Kaepernick. Kaepernick very conservative, 17 to 26, 165 yards. Vernon Davis, Joe Staley, of course, on the offensive line. Trent Dilfer was talking about how a lot of teams would take the talent that the 49ers have. They just seem to come into this year devoid because of all the guys they've lost. So we'll see how it goes with San Francisco. They look very focused. They were very professional, on point yesterday. They came out ready to play. So can they make noise? They have talent. I had them going 6-10. They were 8-8 last year. I figured it was only logical off the amount of talent they lost. But you look at the way last year ended with Jim Harbaugh as a lame duck. Maybe they'd be closer to 8-8. I don't know if they can make the playoffs. Certainly, a win like this shows that they're better than I expected and anticipated coming into this year. So we'll see how that goes with the 49ers. Again, like we were just discussing with Atlanta, when you win a game early in the year that you would think they'd lose, that obviously switches it around. So instead of 6-10, which I have them, that already puts them at 7-9. So you're looking at 1 or 2 more wins. Still a tough division though. Every other team has a win except for Seattle, the defending two-time NFC champions and Super Bowl winner from a couple of years ago. So that's a tough division. Still got to get the meat of it, and I think they didn't have that good of a team on their as their opponent yesterday. I was expecting a lot more from Minnesota. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board, find a way to get Adrian Peterson running well, and really let Teddy Bridgewater shine because from what I saw last night, this is just not an offense that's going to be able to carry them. Their defense is solid but not spectacular, so they'll need a whole lot more out of their offense than what they got last night, and they got to turn it around fast. So we'll see how that goes for the rest of the season with both these teams, San Francisco and Minnesota. I had them going in opposite directions this year, and they're going in opposite directions now, just the opposite directions I thought. So that's your recap for the Monday night games. Week 1 is now over. We will see you on Thursday, which will be September 17th. We'll break down the Thursday night game, which is the Kansas City Chiefs against the Denver Broncos, and we'll give you a preview of that, and we'll make a game pick, and then we're already going to be in the week 2 of the NFL season in just 2 days here, so we waited this long for it, and here we go. We're cruising right along, so stay tuned on Thursday, and we'll give you the breakdown of the Chiefs and the Broncos. Thanks so much.